Rich Carlson has been active in water safety for over 45 years, beginning as a lifeguard at age 15 and progressing to instructor trainer and director administrator levels within the Red Cross. He has continuously researched best practices from different training programs both nationally and internationally. After September 11th, he helped develop the basic water rescue course for the New York and New Jersey Port Authority Police Academy. Although Rich was a full-time police officer for 33 years in both urban, rural, and suburban areas, he's always maintained a strong passion for aquatics and life-saving. He has coached swimming at the high school, YMCA, and summer league levels for over 30 years. He still continues to compete in the United States Masters Swimming. He has been a Red Cross instructor trainer in lifeguarding, water safety, and CPR for over 25 years. He's been able to blend new techniques with old tried and tested ones. Rich's philosophy is to always train his students and participants to enable them to have the best, latest, and most professional life-saving skills available. More tools in the toolbox. Rich just retired after 10 years as waterfront director here at Lake Mall Country Club and supervising a staff of 40 lifeguards and 8 marine safety patrol officers for 3 lakes and 13 beaches here in Sparta, New Jersey. He maintains on the Marine Patrol part-time as a consultant for various New Jersey aquatic organizations. Rich has a master's degree in criminal justice from John Jay College, located in New York City, currently holds a certification as a certified public manager and certified public supervisor from Rutgers University and Fairleigh-Dickinson University. He recently just let his EMT certification expire after 45 years and holds the captain's license from the United States Coast Guard.
Okay, thank you, Derek. And I just want to talk a little bit about Derek Pivko. Derek has been one of our lifeguards here. He started off when he was like 16 years of age, and he's moved up the ranks from lifeguard to lifeguard supervisor, from supervisor to head guard to assistant waterfront director, and then he took over my job just last year. And he's responsible, like he said, for our community here. At Lake Mohawk, we're located in the northwest part of New Jersey, and there's about 1,700 lakes in all of New Jersey, and over 65 plus lakes are located in our county alone. We are probably one of the largest lakes in here. We have 3.5 miles on our main lake, 800 acres, and as Derek said, we have 13 beaches, 150-meter pool, and we do employ like between 45 waterfront lifeguards and about 16 to 20 lifeguards for the pool, and then we have like 8 to 10 marine safety officers. And our population is about 2,700 families, which entails just under 10,000 people. And that's more than half the population of our entire borough in the township of Sparta. We also have about 900 motorboats that are registered on our lake, and then we have well over 1,800 non-power, which is paddle boards, stand-up paddle boards, kayaks, canoes, rowboats, sailboats, a big sailing lake also. So we do have a big water culture up here, water community, which is everything's pretty much based around our lakes. So a little bit of a disclaimer: this initiative that we're going to have here, that some of the photos that you're going to see here, most of them are probably going to have to be from lakes. But please don't think that this initiative is just for lakes. It's not. This initiative can be used anywhere. And this is a process, this initiative that we took. We took this, developed it over a period of time. This took over a course of a long period. Actually, it started back in 2016 when I attended the AOAP conference in San Diego, and I heard this gentleman from Hawaii talk about how they started an initiative down there in Hawaii. They were getting some drownings out on the surf with unguarded beaches, and they started putting up rescue tubes on the different beaches with instructions. So we took that and kind of ran with that a little bit. And then in 2020, last year, when I attended the conference last year, I further got excited about the program, AOP's program about respect for the water. And we were really interested in trying to get that into the school system here. And we were all set to ready to rock and roll with that and get that into schools. And of course, COVID happened, and the schools were closed, so we had to put that on the back burner. Basically, almost all of our aquatic programs were pretty much put on the wayside for the entire season. So what we're going to do is a little bit about this initiative is that we're going to take the Longfellow Initiative, and it's basically Commodore William Longfellow, basically the grandfather of water safety for pretty much not just the United States, but probably the whole world. But in any case, what we're going to do is we're going to show you a little bit about what we have done, and we hope that you can get different ideas and use it and tailor it to your needs in your community. Because the ultimate goal is basically developing and implementing a culture of water safety here. So this is all new to us, how we're doing this format here. Usually we teach live with the questions and answers in between. So what we're going to do is I'm going to step out of the screen. We're going to give you the PowerPoint, and as I'm going through the PowerPoint a little bit, we'll maybe stop a little bit. But at the end, we will stop and we will go live so that we can do questions and answers. All right, so we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. And we're going to do the Longfellow Initiative here. And this is a program that was developed, like I said, over a course of some time. And it was further inspired by attending the 2016 AOAP conference in San Diego, and then again last year to expand it into the schools. So what is it? It's building on Commodore Wilbert Longfellow's goal of making every bather a swimmer and every swimmer a lifesaver. So a credo to follow is that every bather swimmer and every swimmer a lifesaver. And who was this guy, Wilbert E. Longfellow? He became the father of water safety back in the early 1900s, and he actually began his career as a reporter for a newspaper in Providence, Rhode Island. And he found that he was writing too many stories about drowning victims along the waterfront. So he began to donate his time and efforts to water safety education on his free time, and as a result, he was eventually hired by the American Red Cross to be their national field rep for water first aid. That's what it was called back then. It wasn't called life-saving. So Longfellow was not the first to promote water safety in the country, but he did become the most recognizable and prominent. And prior to working with the Red Cross, Longfellow worked with the United States Volunteer Life-Saving Corps, the YMCA, and the Boy Scouts. And he promoted swimming skills for both males and females. And this was definitely before it was fashionable, because they weren't teaching girls how to swim. His efforts reduced drowning victims by 50% in Rhode Island by 1909. In 1914, the Red Cross hired him to take the lead in water safety. And for the next 43 years, Longfellow did everything he could to teach water safety to Americans. So some of his methods, he had a four-pronged method. And the first one was to create a corps of local people who were good swimmers, teach them life-saving and resuscitation, and designate them as their community's first volunteer corps and spread the word. The second one was to encourage owners and operators of swimming facilities to hire lifeguards for their beaches and pools. And this was definitely not the standard at that time. And then provide large-scale swimming instruction to community members of all ages. He also liked to run local and national awareness campaigns about water safety. And he ran swimming pageants and contests. And one of his models, he was big into models, entertain the public usually while educating them gently. And then from 1914 until his retirement in 1947, he produced an astounding reduction in drowning. In 1904, 10.4 people per 100,000 drowned. And by 1947, it was cut in half to 5.2 per 100,000. So, the initiative. What we did was we took this initiative and we wanted to make it a program to develop a culture of water safety throughout all facets of the community. We want to make sure that we're spreading this entire culture of water safety throughout our entire community, all the way from cradle, all the way to the grave if we have to. And think of this as old wine in a new bottle. Some of these techniques and initiatives are not new, but now we have more methods and abilities to spread the word. So some of the goals and objectives of the initiative that we used are designed to encourage everyone to learn how to swim, obviously, to become safe whenever in, on, or around the water, and to include all facets of the community. Our staff, both aquatic and non-aquatic, members, patrons, public safety agencies, clubs, organizations, and schools. So some of the components of the initiative are the water safety programs and presentations in all levels of school, swim lessons, that's probably the biggest one, basic and advanced water rescue skills training, and then other programs that can be tailored to individual aquatic facilities and communities based on your needs. So we also form partnerships with the first responder units in both government and non-government organizations. We promote and teach and certify our local police and our fire, our EMS, and our Marine Patrol and our Coast Guard Auxiliary. So the ultimate goal here is to develop a lifelong culture of water safety. This pretty much revolves around swimming because we know that swimming is a lifelong and a life-saving skill. So this is our primary focus of the initiative. Now, you're probably going to start with some program development, and you want to develop programs that encourage and teach water safety and awareness. So your initiative usually starts here, and you can tailor these to your community and your needs. For our lake communities, we stress swim lessons and summer swim leagues, along with boating, sailing, kayaking, and other water-related activities. For the pools, we have teen nights, adult swims and lessons, aerobics, swim team, fitness and competition. So you can start these with some in-house programs that are can be done with little expense or little expenditure. So your Learn to Swim program, a junior lifeguarding program, lifeguarding courses, swim team, in-service training for lifeguards and your aquatic staff. We really were excited about trying to get into the schools this year. We wanted to do the school programs. And in preschool and water safety presentations, we like to use the whale's tails. For the preschool, the whale's tails has proven to be very effective because it can either be presented by a teacher or a visit from one of our lifeguards. And here we have a short attention span here. So what happens is the whale's tails works very well for us. In the elementary level, we really wanted to try the AOAP's Respect program and wanted to use that curriculum as a step up from the whale's tails. And some of our schools have partnered with our Y to provide group lessons. So our Y also offers for free to all 7th graders the junior lifeguard program. In high school, the high school curriculum, that requires CPR for graduation, so why not basic swimming skills? So we wanted to incorporate swim lessons, basic water rescue, lifeguarding, WSI courses into the curriculum. We only have 2 schools, actually only 1 school now that has its own indoor pool, and the other one is the YMCA. So we're at a disadvantage for that. For community programs here, we really push the basic water safety and rescue training. We teach this to our police, fire, and EMS, and we try to get our frequent flyers, those who are at your facility daily, rain or shine. They're there from the morning until night. You can't get rid of them. You have your frequent flyers. You have your moms, your dads, your grandparents, your tweens. All right. So if you're going to have people that are there all the time, you might as well have them get into the basic water rescue and training program. Okay. So non-aquatic staff training. How many of you include your maintenance staff in your EAP? All right, they should be included, all right, because they may be around when lifeguards are off duty. So we include our maintenance and our road department, our counselors, our camp counselors, our concession staff, our front desk and gate attendants. Can't say enough about them because they're valuable for missing persons. They see who comes in and comes out. Your security, your marine patrol, your beach patrol. Any special instructors that you have. You may have special instructors for sailing, stand-up paddle boards, aerobics, and yoga. They should all be included in your emergency action plan. And then others, patrons and marinas and businesses. We do have a large marina. We only have 1 marina on our lake. All right, so we incorporate them into our emergency action plan as well. The Learn to Swim program, obviously this provides swimming lessons for all the age groups, and the Red Cross programs have swim levels beginning at age 5 and level 1. To any age at level 6. And these prove to be your primary point of contact for the initiative. Junior lifeguarding. This is a great feeder system for both lifeguards and swim team. We find that those who actively participate in a junior lifeguard program have an easier time in lifeguard courses and become better lifeguards. And obviously this is, swim lessons can lead into this program. It's for ages 11 to 14. It's instructed by the lifeguard staff. And it was our fastest growing program in aquatics here at Lake Mohawk. We started off the program several years ago. We only had 9 kids. Then it grew to like 18. It doubled almost every year to the point where we got up to 50 to 60 kids in the program. We actually had to have a waiting list to get in there. But it definitely prepares participants for lifeguarding courses. Courses here, you have a lifeguard course. The basic one is 15 years of age and up, and that's for our pool lifeguards. For waterfront lifeguards, you have to be at least 16, and that's needed for any lake, river, pond, bay, ocean, non-traditional clear water pool. And that's basically by federal law and state law here in New Jersey. The water park lifeguard for water park attractions and usually site-specific. And there's others such as NASCO, American Lifeguard, and the United States Life Saving Association.
Competitive swimming there, we have swim teams, and that helps to develop and improve swimming skills and provides definitely for social and health benefits. We have the summer leagues, we have winter club, and we have high school leagues. Master swimming. This promotes fitness and health and benefits here. And this gentleman here, Ed Suzuki, all right, this is pretty much one of the founding fathers of master swimming here in New Jersey. This is his 90-year-old mom. This is his daughter, and this is his grandson. So you have 4 generations that come to these master swim meets, and they're fantastic. It's really talk about a family atmosphere. Everyone gets to know each other. There's really no real stress to master swimming here, and it's for all ages and levels of ability. So the feeder system, our Learn to Swim programs lead into swim team and in our junior lifeguarding programs, which leads to developing lifeguards. And then they become water safety aware adults, formally trained, who can be lifesavers. All these programs provide for a feeder system into the next level. And the last level is a water safety aware adult who protects their own family and others. This feeder system works so well for us that we really, very, very rarely do we ever have to advertise for lifeguards. We actually have waiting lists and tryouts for lifeguarding here. Now, don't forget your members. Right? Your members are your parents and your patrons here. So you want to include them in water safety. So for swim lessons, we provide our parents with their child's feedback, and we give them homework to work with their child. Because we stress that we only instruct the child for 30 to 45 minutes, but it should be followed up by the parent to help practice and encourage. We have a large increase in kayak and stand-up paddleboards on our lakes. So we now provide safety services, training and guidance with safety info, and the stand-up paddleboards on our lakes. So we use sailing instructors, water ski coordinators, coaches, marine dealers to provide some training in their field. And we use them for in-service with our lifeguards so that they know what to do for incidents involving sailboats, skiers, and fishing accidents. Right here, we have our sailing instructor teaching our lifeguards what to do in case they see a capsize out in the middle of the lake here. Here is a kayak event here. So we have our Coast Guard auxiliary come in and inspecting all these kayaks to make sure they're safe and giving some safety tips. And this is our swimming lessons program here. We also have some physical safety initiatives that we incorporated. And this was the one idea that we got from that 2016 AOAP conference when the gentleman from Hawaii came up. We took some of our old rescue tubes, and this is one of our old rescue tubes, all right? We took it out of service because it was missing a strap, but there's nothing wrong with the tube itself. So what we did was we took it down to our local marina, and they were able to put like a little hook on there, and we carabinered it to a post at each one of our docks and each one of our beaches. And it says for emergency use only, and it says reach, throw, go, call 911. And on the back of it is the address of the beach that you're at. So we put these out several years ago, and not one has been stolen, not one has been missing. The only thing we do is that after some of the beaches and docks, they leave them out all year round. So we get a really harsh winter. What will happen is that we'll have to take them down, replace them, we'll throw these away, and then we have plenty of the other ones, and we'll just re-stencil them and put them out there again. This year we started putting out rescue ring buoys onto all our beaches there for after hours. And then we have a free life jacket loaner program. We have an elderly population that's up here with pontoon boats, and they have their grandkids come up and they don't have enough life jackets. We have a free life jacket loaner program where they can come down, we'll measure the child and loan them the life jacket while they're here for their stay. We sometimes lend out our old rescue tubes to open water swimmers practicing off certain beaches, but we don't advertise that. Another one of our physical initiatives is signage. All right, so we do a lot of signage, and it helped us to educate our public. We publish this. This one is specifically here. We got this from the Jersey Shore on the beaches down here, and we thought this was very apropos. So swimming and bathing is permitted only at designated protected beaches. Lifeguards are on duty between 12 noon and 6 p.m. daily. We don't close our beaches. Our beaches are open all the time. You have to go to the beach at 10 o'clock at night, but you can be on the beach at dawn and start going swimming. So you don't have to, you can swim basically at your own risk. Swimming and bathing at any other time is discouraged and is at your own risk. A protected beach is one with a manned lifeguard stand. If the stand is not manned, the beach is not a protected beach. So basically what we're saying here is that if you don't see a lifeguard in the chair, that's an unprotected beach. And what happens is this works out well for us because if we have a rainy day or something happens where we have to close one of the beaches due to a health code violation, such as a high coliform, what will happen is that this sign basically covers us. Patient training and awareness here, your frequent patients and parents, your teens and your adults. We offer training in basic water rescue, we offer training in first aid and CPR, emergency action plans and crowd control and how to dial 911. On every single one of our beaches, we have a little poster that says how to dial 911, so that even a 6-year-old can go up there and follow the instructions. Dial 911. I'm at Lake Mohawk Beach number 2, 17 East Shore Trail in Sparta. The lifeguards have an emergency and tells you exactly what to do and what to say. And we have it in big letters there by the phone. So we teach the kids how to do that. We teach them how to do crowd control. We train and drill in the public's eye. And sometimes we include them in our drills. This way we're training our patients on what to do when needed. You know, how to exit the pool, how to call 911, how to assist the lifeguards, how to do crowd control, wait for any responding units. We drill during the day with patrons on the beach in the pool area. You can see here we have the patrons that are on the beach and they're watching us train. All right? This not only provides training for your patients, but it also adds credibility for your staff, and they become witnesses. God forbid something happens, and I've been involved in some cases where I do investigations for certain insurance companies or certain clients. And one of the things that happens if there was an incident, I may go to a beach and ask them, have you ever seen the lifeguards practice? No, I've never seen lifeguards practice. Well, that's a witness I'm not going to use, all right? If I find a witness that says, oh God, yeah, they're practiced all the time. In fact, they practice, they're in the water every single day. They practice rain or shine. That's the witness I want to use to help to defend them. So basic water rescue training, all right, this allows for those who are trained to assist lifeguards as a backup or secondary rescuer. We provide water safety awareness and preventive and proactive. It makes everyone a part of the water safety team. It's open to any age. It's only a 4-hour course to teach how to save yourself and others. Half the course is lecture or video, and the other, an hour and a half is in the water. It's not a lifeguard certification course. We stress that it's not a lifeguard certification course. Minimum swimming skills are needed, and it must be comfortable in chest-deep water. And we highly encourage this, that if you have a au pair or a child caregiver, that they take this course when the parents are away and the child care worker or giver has to take the kids to the beach, that they have this kind of training here. So there is a difference between lifeguarding and life-saving. Right? Lifeguarding is preventing bathers from becoming victims. Life-saving is rescuing victims in trouble. So again, we stress the basic water rescue. All right? We highly recommend it for all that work around the facility. We include outside instructors, any leaders in your emergency action plans, and designated non-aquatic support staff. We include our WSIs, our LGIs, our aerobics, our sailing, and any other instructors in your EAP. We highly recommend this for your first responders, in the police, fire, EMS, and security. We train the entire Sparta Police Department, all 45 members of the Sparta Police Department, in basic water rescue. We did the fire department. We had 2 fire departments come in, Sparta and Byron. They cover our community here. And we did night vision training on how to search for missing persons at night. We worked very closely with our EMS, and 2 of these gentlemen here were former lifeguards of ours. And they went on to become EMTs, and they work the ambulance here. So we work closely with them also. Camp counselors. If you run a camp or you have counselors, every counselor should have basic water rescue. The reason why is because they're bringing the kids down to the waterfront, or they're bringing them down to the pool, and then all of a sudden they think that that's it, they don't have to worry about it, they don't have to do anything else. They can be an extra set of eyes and ears for you and actually help you out, all all right, help the lifeguards out as secondary rescuers in searches if they're needed. Our maintenance and custodial office and concession and gate staff, all right, we have our own road department, we have an outside maintenance, and we have an inside maintenance. And what happens is that this gentleman here, who was the head of our grounds and maintenance, he was the one who came up with the idea that he wanted all of our people trained. So we train them in CPR every single year and basic water rescue every 3 years. And our trucks, basically, they're all over the lake community all year round. So we train them in both CPR and basic water rescue. And they carry some of our old rescue tubes in their trucks, and they have access to each of our guard shacks that have the rescue equipment in them. Our concession staff and our gate staff, same thing. We also provide advanced or special training. We get involved with our fire departments. They come over and we're close to the Delaware River. So we did some swiftwater rescue and training them, this local fire department, on how to do that. We also train the Marine Patrol and also our Coast Guard Auxiliary in basic water rescue. And then we add specialized training for them in survival suits and ice rescue. Lifeguard in-service training. How many people here open up their lifeguard training, their in-service training to other facilities? Again, we have like over 65 some odd lakes, and most of them are smaller. We're one of the larger ones where we have a large staff. There's only like maybe 2 other lakes that have as much staff as we do. Most of the other ones only have like maybe 10 or less lifeguards. So what happens is it's not cost effective for them to recertify. So what we do is we encourage them to come over to us, and we provide in-service training for free for these other lakes. If it's a recertification course, we just charge them whatever it costs us. But for in-service training, we encourage them to come over, and some of them have taken advantage of this. So we invite our first responder agencies to participate as well. And this proved beneficial when we were required to have defibs at each one of our beaches. So it was too cost prohibitive to have a defib at every single one of our 13 beaches. So we asked our police department and our ambulance for response times for our different beaches. And what happened was that we then developed a policy and procedure to have roving supervisors with defibs and oxygen to be able to respond to any of their assigned beaches within 3 minutes. So with the police and the EMS responding within 6 minutes. And what happened was that worked out very well, so we got a waiver from the state. So the only thing that it cost us, instead of putting on 13 defibs out there for the season and then having them sitting in a closet for the whole winter, what we did is that we just added another supervisor, one for the West Shore, one for the East Shore, so that they can become, and we had basically 3 defibs available at any one time, because we also had our waterfront director driving around at the same time too. Here we have some deep water backboarding, and what you do is we can see that we tailor our backboarding because we're a big water skiing lake. We have life jackets, PFDs. So what happened was we found out, and the lifeguards basically came up with this, like, I'd say we've been doing this probably for like 10, 15 years now. We put life jackets on our lifeguards. And what happens is that they felt that this was a lot easier, because this way, by having life jackets on, they don't have to worry about the tanglement of the rescue tubes, and they felt more comfortable and able to provide inline stabilization a lot easier and not struggling. We're still old school. We still teach rescues without equipment, just in case, if you're off duty. This is, again, we train with our marine safety officers here, and deep water backboarding. We do get some back injuries from water skiing and tubing accidents here. So we share our facilities with local fire department dive teams and ice rescue and others to train. We had a night vision training, like I said, for missing swimmer, which was great. We also have cooperative initiatives with the state police. They come up and patrol our lake, and the Coast Guard Auxiliary. We encourage them to come up, and what they do is they provide free vessel exams for us and boating safety checks. Our marina. These guys, I can't say enough about these guys also. What happens is that our marina is frequently operating out on the lake during the pre and post boating season. And so they have responded to some of our rescues and capsizes. So the owner of the marina took it upon himself to have his entire staff trained in CPR and first aid. And then the guys who are actually work at the marina are trained in basic water rescue. So some of the other programs we have boating safety courses, small craft, kayak, canoes, and stand-up paddle boards, big sailing lake. Sailing is very popular on our lake, and our yacht club offers sailing lessons for all ages. And the instructors have basic water rescue and CPR. We're a big water skiing and wakeboarding lake, so we're home of the official New Jersey water ski team. So we train for possible injuries there. Open water swimming is becoming big with triathlons and other swims. Lifeguard competitions have greatly increased both our social and professional levels in our surrounding area, and we get a pretty good turnout from our members to cheer on our guards. We have triathlons, lifeguard competition, and beach Olympics. So the boating safety courses, these are run basically by the powerboat squadrons or U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary. They also have classes on non-power for paddling, kayak, canoe, and small boat, SUPs, and sail. And they provide free vessel safety checks. Some of the other community programs that we have, we just started a fishing club about 2 years ago. And this is, again, one of our fastest growing clubs in our area here. They got grants for water quality and fish, and they're very active in promoting and teaching fishing and safety to our youth and environment. Water skiing, wakeboarding, again, this is our New Jersey Ski Hawks team. They're the New Jersey competitive water ski team for the state. We just started a rowing crew team with the high school, so we allow them to go out on our lake early in the morning before the skiers get up at 7:30. So they're out on the lake early in the morning with their sculls. We do have ice boating when we have ice on the lake, ice hockey. The yacht club runs our sailing program. And then we have a powerboat club, and then we have another organization which is extremely active here. It's basically the umbrella organization for all of these, and that's our PAC, our member associations. Each one of these has a representative for the PAC. We have water aerobics. We just started that a couple years ago. Adult swims, parent and child programs. Swim Inc. Swim Inc., if you're not familiar with this, I think this is a national program. But the YMCA started this, and it's a free program. It provides pool access to those in our community who are not or could not afford the opportunity to have pool time. So it's a really fantastic program. It's really growing very well. It's only once a week. Obviously, we've had to stop it due to the COVID. We have a stand-up paddleboard yoga, and this became extremely popular. So this woman, she started this stand-up yoga paddleboard program, and she became a certified in basic water rescue and CPR, and she's also part of our EAP. And she runs these like almost every other night at one of the beaches. And she travels around to different beaches and does these yoga programs. Triathlons, open water swims, and dragon boat races. Our community is very close, and one of the things that we had is each of our beaches has its own little association that provides a sweat equity with the club by helping to maintain the grounds, the picnic areas, the grills, and other amenities. We had a former lifeguard and supervisor pass away from cancer, and it was really tough for those who knew him. His family and his friends and neighbors and fellow guards and members, and especially the kids. And Matt Lanigan was a big guy, along with his heart, and he was an ox. So to see him deteriorate so fast was tough on all of us. So we wanted to do something special. So a member donated his time to build a new lifeguard stand, and we dedicated it to Matt. And his entire family, friends, and neighbors, and even members who didn't even know Matt, swamped the beach for the dedication ceremony. And it was very moving to see everyone participate. And this is actually at the beach that Matt started with, and it's actually very close to where he used to live. So this is one of his main beaches that he did. And it was really fantastic to see the whole community come out for that. So community outreach, some of our special events, we have some nonprofit organizations that want to come in and use our facilities. So we've had triathlons, we've had open water swims, we've had dragon boat races, kayak excursions. So you have to be careful of any organized event that's on or near the water. And outside nonprofit organizations, they're going to want to use your facility to hold an event or raise money. The most important thing you have to do here is to make sure that you control the safety plan here. So we want to educate the public before the season starts, and this is our community outreach program. We do a lot of media releases on water safety topics. We have a very active Facebook page. We do articles, we do social media. We have our own club magazine, water safety presentations at the schools, the Scout and other youth groups. We really are excited to try to use that RESPECT program, and obviously we do use the Longfellow's Whale's Tales. So we offer to give the water safety presentations to anybody that pretty much listens to us. Some legal stuff. So now, what certifications might be needed to conduct some of these programs? So obviously for swimming lessons, you may need some WSIs, an LGI for lifeguarding classes. You may need some instructor certification for if you're teaching a boating class or sailing or coaching, coaching swim team. Pools, you're going to need a CPO, and obviously lifeguard management. Lifeguard management is now required in the state of New Jersey for anybody who is managing a pool facility in New Jersey. All right, that is required now. So you have to factor in what these certifications are needed to run your programs. So what does your facility need to run the programs? You need equipment, you need policy procedures, insurance, staffing, training, your code compliance, safety inspections, maintenance, clerical, and accounting. So what's this going to cost to run these programs? How and who is this going to be paid for? So are you going to be revenue generating versus non-revenue generating? So you're going to have to consider your staffing, your equipment, your payroll, your maintenance, your insurance, your liability, your workman's comp, and your permits. So you have to factor in all of these costs. And again, you have to take this into consideration. We started to have a little problem with some of the nonprofit organizations that were coming in to use our facility. The first couple of years, we gave them a ride and we weren't charging them. And then we realized that it was costing us money. And our members were saying, listen, this is nice, but you know what? We can't afford this. So we had to do a non-revenue generating. So, I'm sorry, revenue generating. Just cost recovery, my mistake. We wanted to just do a cost recovery. So whatever it cost us, we were passing on to them. So that's what we're doing. So whatever it costs us, but they don't understand that, this is, what do you mean a lifeguard's getting $25 an hour? Well, yeah, lifeguard's getting $20 an hour because we're paying them overtime, but the other $5 is paying for the payroll, the maintenance, the insurance, the workman's comp, and the permits that we have to get. So the results of our initiative that we have seen firsthand is that we make both of our staff and patrons more water safety conscious. And this begins at the early stages and ages in our swim lessons and progresses throughout the various programs. And ultimately, the adults and the parents develop a behavior of water safety and hopefully pass it on. And involving all aspects of the community, school and public safety helps to further the goal. And direct results that we have seen, we've seen a definite decrease in water rescues and injuries and accidents. We went from I think it was 40 to 45 rescues one year down to 10. So we saw a big decrease in this. And that was because we did an increase in preventive actions. We did a big increase in program attendance, and we have a feeder system for all our programs and lifeguard staff. So like I said before, our feeder system works so well that the results that we've had now is that we don't have to scrounge around for lifeguards. We have a staff that are willing to come on right away. We test all our staff every single year, and we have interviews, and we have basically a waiting list for people to get onto our lifeguard staff. So now, just a quick word from our sponsors, and one of these things is that I just want to talk a little bit about the lifeguards. So lifeguards. The lifeguards, they're their insurance policy of the agency that hires them. And most of the times, they're the most visible component of your aquatic facility and the most important. So you have to remember that first impressions are your lasting impressions. You're trained observers who are responsible for overseeing the health and welfare of bathers. And the best lifeguards are not the ones who make the most rescues, but the ones who prevent the need for rescues. The lifeguard team, you want to develop a culture of situational awareness among your lifeguard team. Now, if you can do this, basically what a situational awareness is that they are aware of everything that's going around in front of them, behind them, and on the beach and in the water. Always watching the water whether on duty or not. Always facing the water. Make it a habit so that it's a reflex. Instill this in your lifeguard staff at all times, right from the start. Make it so that it becomes a habit. And then rescue ready. These guys are rescue ready all the time. This equipment is set up, every single chair is set up the exact same way on all of our beaches here. And you gotta think about this, that you wanna make sure that when you're always facing the water, you wanna make it a habit and a reflex. The saying goes that old lifeguards are still face the water and always watching. If you go down to the Jersey Shore, we don't call it the beach, we call it the Jersey Shore. If you go down to Jersey Beach, you go to any pool, whatever, you can always tell the old lifeguards. They're the ones who are always facing the water. If I go to a restaurant and it's on the boardwalk, or if it's near the waterfront or whatever, my wife always says, she says, I know you want to sit here facing the water. And that's what I do. I'm always facing the water. And you'll see that all the time. So the lifeguard team, we stress this and it becomes habit. We drill this into them, and so it becomes a natural reaction. Even into their adult years. They're never off duty. They're on the deck, they're on duty. On the beach, they're on duty. So we treat and train our lifeguards like an athletic team. That's what we do. We train them and treat them just like an athletic team. They practice every single day. We practice, practice, practice. If you're on a soccer team, I ask the kids, how often do you practice? Every single day. Baseball team, practice every single day. Swim team, practice every day. Lifeguards, you guys are getting paid to do this, all right? You practice, 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 all right? Again, we practice every single day. We drill daily, all right? This is one of our blue cap drills. What we do here is we involve the community here. We'll take one of our junior lifeguards in the morning at their class and we'll ask them, what beach you're going to today? So I'll be at beach 3 today. All right, good. You know what? Would you mind being one? Yeah. So what happens is that this kid will have this blue cap. It's a very nylon cap. It's like an old polo cap. He'll keep it in his pocket, his or her pocket, all day long, swimming around all day long in front of the lifeguard. And then all of a sudden, as soon as the supervisor walks onto the beach, and gives him a all of a sudden, he takes that out and puts it on his head. No matter what, that lifeguard has less than 10 to 15 seconds to spot that and to go out and make the rescue. And it works. This whole drill takes less than 5 minutes. We do this almost every day. We drill for the real thing. All right? What we do is we try to make the scenarios as real as possible. What we do is we sometimes ask some of the moms to come up and say, listen, can you, would you mind going up to the lifeguard chair and telling them, hey, listen, I'm missing a kid or whatever. And what will happen is that early in the morning, we might have gone and put a mannequin and sunk it out into the deep water or out by the one of the docks. So we drill for the real thing. We probably do one of those lake-wide drills at least once a week. So, if you would not have a man flinch when the crisis comes, you train him before it comes. So that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you develop this culture of water safety for everybody. And we include our aquatic and our non-aquatic staff. We include our public safety officers. We actually give them the codes to all of our beach sheds so that in case something happens after hours, that they can respond, and if they need equipment, if they don't have the equipment in their patrol cars, they can immediately go to any one of our sheds, open it up, and get that equipment that they need. So I want to thank you. I want to thank the AOAP for allowing me to come in here and actually be able to share this initiative. And again, we definitely got the idea from the 2016 program. And if you need to get a hold of me, please, the email is probably the best way to get a hold of me. We're going to end the PowerPoint right now, and we'll be right back with the live version.